Okay, guys, so we are going to talk a little bit about text structures. And these are the things we've been talking about since our CCAs at the beginning of the year. Now, what are text structures? This is how things are structured and how they are organized. Now, what is it? We're going to talk about how information in those texts are organized or set up in a text. We're going to talk about 6 of the most common text structures or patterns that you'll see in any kind of text. Chronological, cause and effect, compare and contrast, problem and solution, sequence, and description. So chronological, this is that stuff that's organized in order of how it goes in time. So chrono means time, and logic is ordered. So the Greek or Latin root for chrono equals, hey, this is time. So chronological. So for example, Jack and Jill ran up the hill to fetch a pail of water. So the next thing that happened is Jack fell down and broke his crown. And following after that, Jill came tumbling after. This is an example of when one thing happened, then another, and then another. All of these stories are told chronologically or in order as they happen. Now, this one is one that gets often confused with another. Cause and effect. Something has to happen first for another thing to happen. So an action and its results are explained. For example, the cause. The student did not learn their material. And the effect or the result is they performed poorly on the test. You don't want to confuse this with chronological. Just because it happens in order does not mean it is a cause and effect. Sorry, let's go back. No, there. So it won't have a beginning and a middle and an end. So cause and effect is just from this happened, so this next thing was your effect. Time does not necessarily progress in a cause and effect structure. So compare and contrast is the next one. This is going to tell you how two things are similar or different. So this is like your Venn diagram. For example, we've got apples and oranges. What do they have in common? They both are fruit. They both have skin. So what's different? People don't eat the orange skins, but oranges also have more juice. Compare and contrast. Problem and solution. Now, a lot of people get this confused with cause and effect. Problem and solution, this is where a problem and an answer is also suggested. For example, the problem is the property is being spray painted. What is the solution? You need a license to buy spray paint. You don't want to confuse it with cause and effect. One is not the result of another. It is presented as a problem. So the problem happens, the solution, and there can be more of a solution, more different kinds of solutions, is that it requires a license to buy spray paint. This one is presented as the problem that you need to solve. Next, sequence, sometimes called process writing. The information is listed step by step. It also explains how to do it or how it happens. For example, we've got first you crack a few eggs, then you add cheese, then you cook it on one side, and then you flip. You don't want to confuse it with chronological. Why? Because it does not occur at a specific time. So, description. So, spatial is a different way that we could think of this, but we're going to call it descriptive or description. Racial is to race as spatial is to space. So, it's going to describe something in order of space. It describes something, how something looks. So time doesn't pass in any of these passages. They are descriptions. They are passing on of facts. For example, my bedroom. There are 2 windows on the west wall. This is a fact. There's also a television across from the bed. I am describing what I see. There's a bed in the middle of the room, and there's also a closet next to the TV. So how are you going to identify each one of these text structures? You're going to ask, what is the author doing in this paragraph? Also, what's his purpose? Put it into your own words. Do you have a sneaking suspicion as to what you think it might be about? There's a graphic organizer that you can use sometimes, or ask your teacher for this organizer to see if this kind of information fits into it. You're also going to look for signal words. So your things that give you clues as if it's going to be one